Good evening, everyone. It's Monday evening, and I've been invited to make a video on the subject of our path and how we discern that. I know that when I look at my own life, I see that there's been an element of this that I'm doing now, which is sharing my experience with you and my thoughts that may benefit you, and certainly growing through that process myself. And so in some way or another, I've been doing that my whole life. Even as a child, I always asked a lot of questions and always wanted to understand what made people tick and what their stories were and how they came to be exactly where they are, what they thought about that, what they felt. And that's no different to this day. So the clues were there, but I didn't recognize that right away. And in many cases, I went in very different directions than that. But with everything that I did, when I look at how I expressed myself through it, it was with these key elements. So that clearly has always lit me up. It was something moving through me. It was not something I feel that my sense of not good enough, of which was a key feature of my childhood years and into adulthood for a long, long time. It wasn't coming from that place. It was just some sense of joy and life passing through me that I was expressing. So I would say that in terms of finding your path, it is a lot like love. And you know the popular expression, don't seek love, but remove all obstacles to it, and you will then be love. And I think that's very true. It's true also of your path. Anything that already is yours, remove the obstacles to it, and it will shine through. And so this so-called work, which is not work at all, that we do, this process of understanding ourselves and of letting go of limitations, of releasing ourselves from the illusion of who we thought we were, this construct, that is extremely important in discerning your path. You will be able to see far clearer and without the glasses of I'm not good enough on, and therefore you will have no need to prove yourself or to be seen to be doing something. It will simply shine through you. So the other thing that can be an obstacle in your path is needing it to look a certain way, and that is also equated with love. You know, you can imagine that if there is a right person for you or a number of right people for you, that if you believe that they have to look a certain way, speak a certain way, do a certain job, or earn a certain amount of money, or very specific elements like that, you might miss a lot of other things that would be well, not things, but people that would fill you with joy and be a perfect match for you, but you've missed them because you were too busy looking for that one specific thing. And in relation to my own path, I see that that is also true, and perhaps that was at times what got in the way of me seeing what that was, because I thought I had to do certain things and follow a particular course in order to achieve that result, when in fact life was giving me that anyway, and I simply needed to get out of the way of it. So your path is not about making money. Now, it may be that you make money from that, and it may be something that sustains you, but your path is again, it's life shining through you. It's your unique expression. So it might be a hobby, it might be your volunteer work. It really doesn't matter, but it is something where you feel that when you do it, you feel very much alive. It lights you up. So look for the clues. Look at your life and look back over your life when you're asking yourself, well, what is my path? Look at what has lit you up. Look at, I would say for me, it's when I feel most alive. And the thing that makes me feel most alive is when I'm sharing things like this with other people. I feel illuminated during that time. So Your path, similarly, to add to that, does not mean that it's related to service. There is this notion at the moment that everybody is here to serve everybody else, and that if you're on a so-called spiritual path, and I never like that word because we're all spirit, we're all essence, creative essence, and therefore all spirit. And so what is spiritual anyway? It's simply being what we already are. But nevertheless, there is this word spiritual, and people think that belonging to that idea is the kind of obligation that we serve others. And that's a kind of subtle form of the construct of potentially not good enough, or of what some people refer to as ego. Yes, it may be that you serve others in some fashion, and it may be that that also serves you. But know that the most important thing that any of us can do ever is simply to meet ourselves. That is it. That alone will illuminate your life, and it will raise the vibration of those around you too. So that thing is actually everything. Finally, again, I reiterate, what lights you up? When you look back on your life, what things have you done? And don't narrow your ability to see this by saying it needs to involve work or it needs to look a certain way. It's not necessarily even about doing something. It might mean, it might involve an emotion. It might involve an experience. It might involve people. Just where do you feel most alive? And that's a bit of a clue. So I hope that these things will help you to be clearer about how to find your path. And I wish you well in doing so. I hope that your lives are lit up by that.